one of the co-founders and CEO of EarthernTunes Design, along with my partners Nakul Latkar and Vidyadhar Bandare. So we started off EarthernTunes in 2018 informally, and we have started with the goal of doing something good for the farmers. Now, what is that we need to do? Farmers was not decided sitting in the office. We actually set out and spent extensive time in villages, mainly across Maharashtra and Telangana. Of course, there were a lot of problems that the farmers were facing, but one striking thing that we've observed that most of the farmers are actually walking barefoot. So after completing our post-graduation from National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, the three of us set out to do something for the farmers. But as it was recommended by our education and what we learned in our colleges, we always believed that sitting in an office, you cannot empathize with what the farmers required. It is essential that we go and speak to the final user. So we spent extensive time in villages, mainly across Telangana, Maharashtra, Kerala, and we try to understand the plight of the farmers. And one of the striking things that came forward is that rural population generally walks barefoot. Now, there's always a romantic notion associated with walking barefoot, where they say it is good for your feet, that you're in touch with Mother Earth. But the truth is far from it. In the present conditions, soil conditions that we have, it is not healthy to walk barefoot. And in fact, farmers and rural populations suffer a lot from walking barefoot. They are prone to parasitic diseases, fungal infections, and of course, snake bites as well. And we decided we had to do something about it. Of course, when we generally say farmer shoes, the first thing that comes to your mind is gumboots. Although gumboots are perceived to be capable, again, the truth is far from it. There have been multiple initiatives from the governments and NGOs to provide free gumboots to farmers. But if you actually go to any farmer's house, you find them in the corner of their home being unused, because gumboots are essentially a Western concept that we're trying to force in rural India. So we found that farmers actually run through 7 to 8 pairs of footwear throughout the year, which is quite high compared to urban India. The reason for this is because they are using substandard footwear, which are actually downgraded versions of urban India, and they don't last for long time in the conditions that they work in, right? So we wanted to make a footwear that is both comfortable and durable, and that's how we started the journey. We found out that we need to come up with a newer material to address this problem. Conventional materials would not work, and since it was a local problem, we also thought that there must be a local solution. So we actually explored with 15 natural fibers, ranging from coir, screw pine, jute, banana fiber, water hyacinth. But we found this unique material called gongadi. In fact, it's a blanket predominantly found in Deccan region, which we found to be apt for our application. The fascinating thing about a gongadi is, it's in fact, weaving of gongadi is a traditional craft in the Deccan region, especially in Telangana, Maharashtra regions. And gongadi lasts typically for 20 years. Is used by the pastoral communities throughout the year, in summer, winter, and rainy. We still have a video of one of Nakul trying out, where we put the gongadi on his head and we poured water and it did not go through, and that's what stuck with us. And we realized we could make a shoe with it. Of course, finding out the material and deciding to make a shoe is one part of it, but actually making a shoe out of it was a challenge on its own. None of the industries were working with any material close to this. So it was a huge challenge. Manufacturing the shoe from this material was a large challenge. The founders, all three of us, had to learn how to make a shoe, how to stitch, because we weren't trained in that. So we bought a sewing machine by ourselves. We learned all the tricks of the trade and started making prototypes. We made close to 60 prototypes before we actually arrived at this final design. We tried knitting, we tried weaving, we tried sticking. All of this was good, but there was always a gap left on what could be the perfect shoe for farmers. And that's where we had to collaborate with the mass manufacturing industry itself. So we used to source blankets from the weavers directly and set out to various footwear industries across India. We tried out Chennai, Ambur, Ranipet, Mumbai, but we were lucky to have found a good person in Agra who was willing to do the manufacturing for us. And that's where we came up with the final prototype that you see here. So the specialty of the shoe, as I mentioned extensively, it's made from gongadi blankets. but also the uniqueness lies in the sole itself. The sole is made from PU, and the whole shoe is molded, so it's extremely durable. And it contains all the great properties of what a Gongadi is. It's thermoregulates, it's water resistant, you can use it sock free, it will keep your feet fresh from sweat as well. You can use it inside the field, outside of it as well. Um, Also, we have done lab testing for the shoe. It's one of the very few shoes in India that is lab tested as well. Right now, we have been in the market for over a year as we have started our production in 2021. We did like an initial production run of 1,000 shoes, which was supported by IIT Madras. IIT Madras, we are incubated at IIT Madras as well. We have received a lot of support from them. Now we are in our second run of production. We have produced about 3,000 shoes, and we are actively trying to market them and sell them so that they reach farmers. This also has been supported by IIT Madras. We have two variants in the shoe. One is of course the farmer shoe. The farmer shoe actually costs about 1,600, but we are subsidizing it for farmers for 900. How the subsidy happens is by the sale of our urban shoes. The urban shoes are retailed at 2,500 to 3,000 shoes. So coming up with the name EarthernTunes was not very straightforward. We had to go through a lot of iterations to understand the name. It truly captures the essence of what we are doing. One of the ideas is it wasn't working in English, so we tried to understand if we could explore our local mother tongues, whether it's Telugu or Marathi, and that's when we discussed with various elders. And a good suggestion came from my mother, who is actually a PhD in Telugu. So we explained what we are doing, and she came up with this. Can you make it something in relation to Mother Earth, since that's what you're talking, and something on the tune of the Bhumi Ragalu is what exactly the word she used. So that's what we translated into EarthernTunes, and I think it kind of captures what we are trying to do here. Eco-conscious, carbon neutral, friendly shoes for India, and also probably it will summarize the products that will come in future as well. The help from Telangana government and T-Hub has been exceptional, honestly, and we are very grateful to them. Especially, it started off from our mentor who had connected us with MSR Garu, who is the CEO of T-Hub. And we also got a chance to interact with Shanta ma'am, who's the CEO of T-Hub. Shanta ma'am has been very, very helpful. Both MSR and Shanta ma'am took the time out of their busy schedule to have a look at our shoe. They felt the shoe has huge potential, and they told us to interact with Jayesh Ranjan Garu. Jayesh Ranjan sir also was very kind enough to give us private audience. We shared the shoe with him. He really loved it. And he also said Telangana government would be willing to support us wherever it is required, whether it's setting up a local manufacturing facility, moving it from Agra to here, for sourcing of Gongadi, which is very critical for our shoe. Since now we do it on our own from you could say very distributed network, but I think if government helps us out, I think we can actually scale it up in a much larger way, and also with manpower. And honestly, meeting KTR sir has always been something we have dreamt of, because we always felt KTR sir and KCR sir have been very positive and very supportive of the Gongadi weavers, and also we share the same vision that our shoes, of course, benefit the farmers, but if we are able to create enough demand, it can help revive the craft itself, right? So we always wanted to give a shoe to KTR Garu, and that has been possible because of T-Hub Shanta ma'am and MSR sir. We got a chance, and KTR sir spent time with us. He really loved the shoe. He said it's one of the most fashionable shoe he's seen recently. And he was very kind enough to tweet from his personal handle, and that was amazing. And we couldn't thank Telangana government, T-Hub enough for this. So presently submitting a proposal from our end to Telangana government for, as Jayesh Ranjan sir had mentioned, in setting up of the plant and also for sourcing raw material. We hope to set up a plant here and make this product completely made in Telangana. So coming to the shoe product itself, we have two ranges. One is the urban range, the blue, grey and the white. In white also we have two variants. These three are made from Himachali wool, which is sourced from Uttarakhand. The white and the black, of course, are Gongadi. which is sourced from the Deccan region, it's predominantly Telangana and Karnataka. Uh, the black variants are specifically for farmers. The other colors are for urban India. We follow cross subsidy model.